time for the Escorts. Gird up your loins, strap on your sword belt, let's get to town. All right, before we dive into the combat and the fun and antics and a half-naked elven noble strapped to a horse, well, currently on the ground in the cold. A huge thanks to D&D Beyond for allowing us to use their tools and utilities. You want to get a character created with a quickness, go to dndbeyond.com. You can do so for free. Or if you would like to, and I encourage it, purchase their bundles. They're always having sales going on. Always at conventions. If you get a chance to go to any of the conventions, you can more than likely see them. Speaking of, I will be in a convention along with Maddie and Q and a couple of others at Winter Fantasy coming up later this week. So that starts officially on Thursday. We'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Maddie and I are running the Tier 3 Adventure League Descent into Avernus Adventure League. God bless. Modules. That's the word I'm looking for. Modules. Anyways, I promise you I'm not. Well, I am losing it, but that's beside the point. If you're in the Huntsville area coming up in April, if I'm not mistaken, yes, it is April. We are having the Huntsville Pop Culture and Comic Expo. I will be there running the Dire Bear seasonal game for the convention. So that way you guys can come by and see. And again, our friends at D&D Beyond will be there giving away prizes, including legendary bundles. That is correct. Get all the current books and titles and everything that are available from D&D Beyond as a legendary bundle. To that effect, I'm going to talk to whomever I can talk to, whether that be Adam Bradford himself or whomever I can, to try to go, hey, can we get a couple of those to give away? I think it'd be fun. So keep your ears and eyes open, as we may have a legendary bundle or two to try to give away later on this year. Speaking of things that are new to us, pay no mind to the dude in the hood right now. That'll be important later. But what we do have are new games. Tuesday night is still Esper Genesis until about mid-March or so, and then we'll be going to what they're titling Valley by Night. And it is a Vampire the Masquerade game set here in the Tennessee River Valley, run by our very own GM, Jason, and part of the Nerd Eternal Network. If you guys want to hear anything nerd related, funny, they talk about comic books and movies and all sorts of things, go check them out. The name of the podcast is We're Too Old for This, but it is the Nerd Eternal Network. Please go check them out. Give them some love. Tell them we said hello. Also on Wednesday nights, we now have our Monster of the Week game run by Q. And on Thursdays, coming soon, as in like later this month, if I'm not mistaken, we will have Descent into Avernus being run by Maddie. So those are all on those evenings. So we're running 4 nights a week. Yes.
Starting literally the week we get back from Winter Fantasy.
So like next week.
Yes.
Okay. Next week on Thursdays, we will start Descent into Avernus. And again, all of our time slots are 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central. So that's 7 to 10 Eastern or 4 to 7 Pacific time. Feel free to tune in. Again, we love and appreciate all the support you guys can give us. So if you can, throw us some bits, or if you have a Twitch Prime sub, throw that our way. We also have a Patreon that you can get started supporting us for as little as $1, and you can start seeing. I promise you, I'll be posting stuff in there soon. I'm working on a few things, and they'll be coming down the pipeline. I've just got a lot of irons in the fire right now. But enough about all that. Let's talk about the mistreatment of animals, specifically elves. Last week's episode, they trudged through the day, getting to a valley where there was a way station. Beating a torrential downpour, they decided to tuck into the building, but not before Zastari made a find. You see, Zastari met up with some old friends of hers, allies at one time, in the form of the circus with which she trained with. Her old mentor was there, a centaur. They had some small talk, talked about the circus and how they were doing. The acrobats were, times are not as necessarily hard, but also not easy at the same time. The show for that evening was washed out due to the rain. So they sat down and had a few drinks. Our very own bard got to play a song and then was asked to play on stage, but then asked to leave the stage while his betters played. We also had
Someday.
a wizard kind of an impromptu conclave of wizards talking about information and more frivolity, as well as our own Tangaroa tasting some of the local fare to the point of being inebriated. Being helped upstairs by Ezra, Tangaroa was left to sleep it off. Hannah had rented rooms for the girls and the boys, keeping them separate, with the girls on the top floor and the boys on the second floor. Somewhere in the middle of the night, someone broke into the room and absconded with Zastari. Ezra chased, jumping out the window, but right after a fly was cast on him, he sees them riding away. What he didn't see was the small conversation and exchange that happened before that. As Zastari was laid across the horse, bound hand and feet so as to keep her on there, she looks over underneath the horse she's thrown across to see 4 more hooves and legs walk up. An exchange occurs in a familiar voice. As it bends down to pick up the money, her old mentor looks across and just kind of gives her an apologetic look. One to say, it's not personal, it's just money. Before they are ridden away. The party opts to run across country instead of across down the road, hoping that they could intercept them in that trajectory. Unbeknownst to all of them, a face that they met earlier in the days felt a certain tie to another one of the individuals in the party, strong enough to make him turn around and double back on his tracks. Why don't we take a moment to introduce the character that is currently chasing down the noble who's been slung over a horse?
The man who stands in front of you is 5'10", human, long blonde hair, clean-shaven face, wearing a blue tunic with seems to be chainmail underneath it. Giant sword, a long sword strapped to his hip, and his pack on his back. That's what you see.
Excellent. The tie that you felt to the other individual was strong enough to draw you back to where they were. However, you had already made your way several hours south. You're catching up to them right as you watch the noblewoman being thrown over the horse and them riding away. You recognize her as a part of that party, but you don't seem to see the rest of the party elsewhere until you hear the sound of shattering glass from the back of the way station. You see the Oni running, like falling like a feather before hitting the ground, and decide to run after them. They speed away, unable to catch up with them. He doubles back. You realize that this is not a good situation. Recognizing that they won't be able to catch up to the other members, you decide to take it upon yourself to either follow, or do you go with the party, following behind them?
I would follow in behind them.
Following behind the bandits who have absconded with the elven noble, or party?
The bandits who have absconded.
Okay. They ride through the night, and you press your horse as fast as you can to keep up with them. They're moving at a pretty fast clip. You recognize that they are not using normal means of transportation. They seem to be moving faster than that. Your only hope to catch up to them right now is to hope that they break for camp. Because while they are running outright with the speed of magic under their hooves, you realize that the horses themselves aren't magical, and they will need to rest or be blown out. Sure enough, as night sets full on, to that point where almost all of the stars have started to twinkle out for the night, you see a small campfire up ahead. You dismount and creep up on the edge of them to see the 2 bandits sitting there. Not realizing it before, but the but the elf was not allowed to gather any of her belongings as she was hurried out. As she sits there shivering underneath a blanket that has been just kind of hastily dropped over her, you get the impression that her hands are still bound. I would still like a stealth check from you, and I assume you are wearing chainmail, so go ahead and give that to me with a disadvantage, unless you have something else that would give you otherwise.
No, I also forgot to mention what I wore. What I'm wearing is a large blue cloak with a hood on it.
Okay.
So, disadvantage?
Mm-hmm.
5 plus negative 2. There we go!
I forgot the dexterity!
Yes, I'm back! I'm back!
For those of you who want to know, his dexterity is a 6.
No!
Barrick is the perfect. I love him so
Oh,
much.
this is amazing!
like-
I love him so much!
The only person who couldn't notice you is Gillet.
Poor Gillet. Don't call him out like that.
I am back. Here we go, baby.
As you sit there in your blue cloak and armor, you feel a tap on your shoulder, but you realize it's not a hand so much as it's the blade clunk clunk against your shoulder.
Hello there. I saw that you were over there by the fire, but I was getting kind of cold. I wanted to go, but in reality, I was kind of scared.
The human male with stubble on his face and even in the dark blue eyes, you can see, kind of looks at you for a moment and goes, "Private engagement. You should move along."
Oh, but come on. You're right there, and I'm right here. I'm starting to get cold. Why can we not share a fire?
Move along. Private engagement.
What? No, I refuse to move. I'm going to sit right here because I am now stubborn.
The blade is now like hovering just in front of your face.
Alright. Let me get up. Hold my hands up. Let me get up. And, like, don't worry. I won't be in too much of a bother for either of you. But seriously, I am getting very cold. I just, like, drop my hands a little bit, like, still. And I try and cast Sanctuary on myself.
Give me a sleight of hand. I take it you're trying to mask your maneuver.
Yes.
Sleight of hand is dexterity as well. This should go well.
Oh, this is gonna be beautiful.
If you're not 20, so help me.
That's a 7. That's a 15.
Okay.
Eric, I hear a double talk coming out of you.
He does not seem to notice.
Does that seem to notice?
So
Okay.
you get Sanctuary off on yourself.
Interesting.
Nice.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do... So... What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go to that fire. I do not wish for you to swing at me. But I know if you wanted to, you could. But I'm still going to do it. Okay?
Being none the wiser, he says, "You should have moved along." And he swings at you with his sword, gripping it with two hands. Oh, the first roll was like a 23, but with disadvantage because you have Sanctuary on. It's a nat 1.
Isn't
The
it also
sword-
a wisdom saving throw?
Oh, that's right. It is a wisdom saving throw. No, he fails horribly.
Huzzah.
So he goes to swing the blade, but finds himself unable to do so, and he just kind of like shrugs and looks at you like, "What have you done?" But he doesn't seem to move to strike you.
So I keep moving to the fire.
Sitting beside her, but in the shadows to the point where you could not see them originally. You see another elven figure dressed in dark garb. As you approach, he kind of stands quickly to his feet and goes, "Who are you?"
I am a weary traveler. I saw your fire, and I wanted to sit down. I'm starting to get cold.
Where's my companion?
Oh, you mean grumpy face back there? He's okay. We had a little bit of a chat. He let me come in, so.
He looks around concerned, and his eyes kind of flash for a second. And then he goes,
Yes. Do I see? I obviously see Starry.
Yes. She's sitting underneath a blanket that's been kind of like thrown over her to give her a minimum amount of coverage. And the night's not like bitterly cold, but it's it's chilly out.
Mm-hmm. Enough, especially somebody who isn't wearing clothing.
Much at all, yeah. He, like I said, you see the eyes flash, and then he looks at you for a moment and puts a finger to his lips. He whispers something in an arcane language, and then puts his hand like this. You feel your spell drop.
Ah. So I feel it drop. I was wondering when you were beginning to notice that.
Weary traveler indeed.
Hey, one can be very weary when coming up on a camp, especially with one with a sword behind my back.
About that time, you hear the sound of somebody stumbling in the dark and comes up into the campfire holding his blade up. I tried. I couldn't stop him. I couldn't hit him. I don't understand.
It is okay.
The elf looks at me and goes, "It's magic, you dolt."
I gotta ask, what kind of how am I restrained? Were they dumb enough to restrain me with rope?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Your hands are kind of bound behind or in front of you, and there is a length of rope that is bound to your ankles, and your ankles are bound just enough to where you can kind of sit upright. You can bend forward to loosen it, but you can't like stretch any further than that.
Okay. Since I'm getting a distraction from somebody who really has no idea who I am, may I attempt to break free? Get used to my hands.
Yes. Give me. You're using basically like the skills that you have. Give me a sleight of hand. Unless you're trying to be obvious about it.
Well, that's a 10.
Total?
Yep.
You're able to loosen the ropes, but not get completely free of them. If you give it a few more moments, and if he continues to distract them, or you continue the distraction, you may get another chance to loosen them further.
Okay. She's just gonna keep paying attention and work her bonds loose.
Alright. Where are my manners? My name is Barak. What are your names?
The elf goes, "It's not important what our names are.
But
You
how am I
should
going
really
to address
move
you?
along."
Oh, really? Why are you guys so aggressive? Is it because of little Miss Tied Up over there?
He shoots her a glance and then looks back to you and doesn't step closer, but you can see him narrowing his eyes dangerously at you. Who are you really?
Barak. That is my name.
Zastari has mouthed the words, "My name is Zastari. However, cannot be heard."
Hang on just one second here. Bum, 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 bum.
Quentin, I hate you. I love you, but I hate you.
Oh.
They're writing.
I
They're writing shit in Twitch chat.
I'm like, Ezra knows nothing of this man. Me sitting in the background. Hit him with the pipes.
What have I done?
I forgot to equip bagpipes to him. Oops.
For background, while our DM is getting his stuff together, Boddick was the very first character JT ever played with me as a DM. So Quentin and I are sitting over here having a fucking giggle because out of character we know exactly who this man is, but in character we have no idea.
Mhm.
And we love this man to pieces.
Basically, I'm a golden retriever as a human being.
And
That's
out of
exactly how I
character,
describe my character.
and out of character, JT is a fantastic person, and I love him to pieces too.
So, so what I'm hearing is there's two of us now.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god, there's another person like me!
Dude, oh my god. Tonga's gonna have a new best fucking friend.
I quit.
Friendship with Mello ended. Boddick is my new best friend.
Oh no.
That
Who
hurts
gets
everybody's
custody over the
feelings.
chicken? I vote Zora.
I was gonna say, in all fairness, it should be Zora, and then we can have the chicken with
Gonna be
17
delicious.
with 11 herbs and spices.
No, don't fucking kill my baby.
Don't
I didn't
tempt
kill
me
it,
to steal the
grab it.
lug blade.
Okay, so the...
Okay, so he's looking at you for a moment, and then you watch as he says a few more words in an arcane language. And as he does, there's sort of a purple shimmer that kind of rolls over him. Zastari, you watch as he starts to say something else. Again, you see his fingers moving, drawing sigils in the air, and as he does so, you can now speak. But I need a wisdom saving throw from you, Barak.
Barak! Oh, wisdom. I have
Barak.
lots of wisdom. Just give me a second. See what I can do.
Sure.
Ah! There's a big number on that one. Da-da-da. 4 plus 9, 13.
That is not enough, actually.
Oh.
No, that is not quite enough. And you feel the ability to maneuver yourself, control your mouth, your muscles, and everything are held fast in place. He walks over.
How much have I
Steepling
managed
into
to
you.
get my wrist open
Give me another
before
roll.
he moves? That is an 18.
You are free. Your hands are free.
Okay, before...
Your feet are still...
That's fine. Before my brother gets up, the blanket
Mhm.
is up and around his face, and I have pulled it back with the intention of smashing his head against a tree.
Okay, give me a... This will be your strength versus his.
Fuck. Okay.
Just roll better than I did. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, well, that's a 9 total.
Okay, you know your brother is a very studious individual. However, he is not the strength one. That would be one of your other siblings.
Mm-hmm.
As you grab him, because I rolled a 2, but he has a -1 strength. So you grab the blanket and roll and smash him against the log using your weight to bear him down to the log that you were resting against. There is a thunk sound as he hits the side of the log. And I need to make a Constitution saving throw. Ooh, this may not be. Okay, actually, it's okay. By 1. He says, ugh, and about that time, you watch as he groggily shouts out, "Alive! Hurt! Ow!" And you watch as the guard that was with him comes over and flips the blade around and or points the hilt of the sword at you and goes, "I don't want to mess up your pretty face. Let's put your bindings back on and be a good girl."
Fuck You. By the way, Bodek, my name is Astari, and if you wouldn't mind giving me a hand, that would be great.
He's no longer moving.
I am aware, at which point I am going to shift with both feet still tied, and I am just going to kick my brother in the head again. I am attempting to render him unconscious so he drops his magic.
All right, so before we do that, let's go ahead and get some initiative.
Yay.
Oh my
Because
god.
that way...
All right.
Go.
Batty. Q.
So that way, Bodek can
Name
get some
my
saving
roll.
throws in there.
Name my roll.
5.
I'm gonna give you a 10.
That is a 10. Right on the
Ah.
money.
Damn.
All right, Maddie, what'd you have?
I have a 21.
So you are going to go first, just so we're all clear.
Good.
And even
Weird.
though he has a -2, you're actually going next with a 10.
Oh my god. This is a rare treat. I'm going to savor this moment.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So let's just be clear. 3 of my 4 checks tonight have been dexterity checks.
I know. I'm trying to change that.
All right, so first up, Zastari, go ahead and roll to attack.
That'll just be a regular unarmed attack, yes.
That is correct.
Well, that's a 17 on the die plus 4
That-
for 21.
Even with the mage armor, that hits.
Good. For a total of 2 damage.
All right, hang on
Because
just one
it's
second.
1 plus your strength modifier. I have a crap strength modifier.
Just slowly inch him underneath a horse.
As you kick him in the head, you realize that Bardic, you can move once more.
And that is why I got that boil off my... Wait, you're listening to me.
Oh man. Okay. So that is now your turn. As a matter of fact, unless Zastari, there's anything else you'd like to do.
Bonus action to untie my feet?
Sure.
Cool. Doing that. At least my feet are now untied and I can dodge better because I'm no longer restrained.
All right. So you are now not restrained. Baddock, what are you doing?
I look over. Sestari. So that is your name. Good. I take my dagger and I throw it at her, like, not as like an
Not
attack.
trying to whip it at her, but toss it to her so she can use it.
Yeah.
I got you.
Here!
Hold this. Thanks. All right.
Preferably with the handle.
I will. You throw it, it hits her with the handle, but like right in the middle of the forehead. Thunk.
Dodge in there.
You toss it to her, like at her feet. You count that as part of your movement if you would like to.
Okay, cool. Who's beside me?
The guard with the sword.
The guard with the sword?
Mhm.
Cool. I pull my sword and I take a swing.
All right. Hang on just one second here. Okay, go ahead and roll to attack, please.
Attack, long sword. I will do a two-handed.
All right.
Just saying. That is a... Oh, Lord. That's an 8.
That does not hit.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I get a second attack because of level 5.
Excellent.
Sweet. Attack again. Okay, you're going to dice jail. That was a 2.
It's not getting better.
I take this one. See, it is easy to miss people. And that's my turn.
All right. Then it is my turn.
I'm assuming this is happening nowhere near where we're at.
Nowhere near where you guys are
I
at.
kind of figured. Okay.
You guys are off in the wild woods, way away from you guys. All right. Brother Dearest is going to extract himself.
From the blanket?
Yeah. And like throw them off. He is going to look at you, Baddock, and I need a charisma saving throw, please.
Oh boy, charisma.
And I
have
think,
what?
Eric, this is your favorite spell.
Charisma?
Yes, it's charisma, please.
16.
16? Okay, that's enough. You feel yourself being torn between this realm and another, as though he were trying to send you elsewhere. However, just the sheer willpower and your own devotion keeps you planted here in this plane of existence. He furrows his brow at you and just kind of looks angry. I don't want you here. The bandit captain is, or not the bandit captain, but the guard that's with him is not so magically inclined, so he's just going to swing at you.
Cool.
The first one is going to miss with a 7. That's going to be a 50 or an 18.
That hits.
And then the last one is going to be just an 8. So it's only one hit. That's going to be a total of 8 points of damage.
8 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
Excellent.
Swinging the sword left and right, but you're just dodging out of the way. One of them clips you a good portion, but you watch as he swings his sword twice and then comes in with a dagger that you see at the last second, dodging out of the way as it slides past you. That is the bad guy's turn, so we're going to go back up to the tap and go Zastari.
Well, I'm going to grab up the dagger and we're gonna go after my brother.
Brother dearest.
Yep. 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits him. You are all close enough together and in this little cluster that you're in that yes, I will allow you to get sneak attack on it. Especially since his current attention was turned
and
towards
not on
Bedek.
me?
Correct. Put it in his spleen.
That's the plan. Okay.
But the spleen is the place where I feel things.
I need those parts.
That's 18 damage total.
That's gross.
Yeah.
So
And that's just
6
with a dagger.
That's just gross.
That had occurred to me.
I rolled 2 6s on my sneak attack.
Good
Oh, that-
lord.
That's beautiful.
I'm sure she won't be in any more trouble for killing her brother as opposed to just running away.
Bandits did it. It'll be fine.
Totally fine.
For the
Dangerous.
record, she's not trying to kill her brother.
Just stab him.
The intention is not to kill him.
Stab him 14 times. He'll be fine. He'll live,
He
right?
fell on my knife, sir. He fell on my knife.
knife.
I mean,
10
he
times.
32 times.
He just walked in, and I stabbed him 37 times in the chest.
He just
It's a
walked into
story
a wall
that
with a lot of
kills
spears.
people.
Yeah.
You think 37 is excessive, but if you compare it to the options that I had, mild. I mean, Lizzie Borden did more. So with that being said, it is now Barrick's turn.
Cool. Da. What shall I do? Well, since the guy in front of me is being really hard to hit, I'm going to cast Hold Person on him. That's basically-
On the guy that was striking you with the sword.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he has make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, so that's no good. You see him in mid-swing, like he's bringing the sword up to swing it again, and all of a sudden he just stops and goes,
Stay right there. I will talk to you later. I turn around and face the brother dearest,
okay.
and I start walking towards him. I don't have my attack because I use my action to use Old Person, so...
He looks a bit nervous. He is going to move outside of your threat range as a starry. You can't get your sneak attack on it, so you can only do the damage
That's
from the
fine.
dagger.
That's an 18 on the die
Okay, that hits him.
with a +8 for 26.
Okay, yeah, that hits him.
Barely hits.
Also, I realized I'm missing 5 damage out of the last set. I keep forgetting to add my dexterity modifier to the damage.
Okay, I got that fixed.
And then I deal an additional 7 as I stab him again.
He is not looking very pleased with the current turn of the situation. As he moves out, you watch him moving beside his held ally. He puts a hand on his shoulder, and there is a shimmer of deep purple energy that opens up. He pulls himself and his ally through, and then it closes quickly as he dimension doors away. Leaving just the two of you there.
You must be cold. Here, I take off my cloak and hand it to her.
Your arrival was timely. Thank you. I have to... What do you want?
Would you believe me if a strong presence brought me towards your group?
No.
Then you won't believe me.
Nobody does something like this for free. What do you want?
I roam, is what I do. I go sit down by the fire. There's a free fire here, please. If you want to sit, sit.
There's also a backpack with some, like, your brother left his backpack behind.
Good. I'm gonna start routing through the backpack.
Also, he dimension doored out. There are also two very, very good horses right here.
Mm-hmm. What's in the backpack?
You must...
Which, as soon as I get that description, I promise, because this conversation will happen as she's looking through the pack. Just
Okay, you get to do your thing.
Yeah.
There are a change of clothes that look like they would fit him. They're very nice garb. There's also a dress that's in here. It appears to be sized to fit you, along with some delicate slippers. It looks like his intention was to dress you for what he thought was appropriate.
Is it good quality?
I mean, it is very good quality.
She's gonna put the slippers on so she doesn't have bare feet, and then just keep rooting through the pack.
Okay. You can see some travel rations. It looks like mostly just traveling.
Okay.
However, there is one item in there. It is it's a stone. It's about that big. And it has some runes written on it.
Okay.
As Steve so affectionately calls it, a what?
They're a rocky talkie.
That's right, Rocky Talkie.
I know what it is. I don't think Zastari would be able to
What?
identify what it is.
You ever
So-
heard of sending stones?
Yes, but
Yeah,
Rocky
Talkies.
Rocky talkies.
We coined that phrase last game, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Steve.
It was Steve.
I can't claim that one. I saw it on the internet somewhere.
So it was Steve.
Yeah, so it was Steve.
So it was Steve.
So that's all that's in the pack?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
traveling gear, rations, and then change of clothes for himself, a fine dress, and slippers for you, along with the sending stone, or at least one stone.
She's bundled up in his cloak because she won't put the dress on.
Okay. Your brother was a bit bigger of build than you, but if you tie him down, you could probably put on like some of his stuff if you
She'll
wanted
at least
to.
put on the pants. So
Okay.
that the legs are covered, but the cloak suffices for the upper body stuff.
Okay.
You were saying?
I was saying something? Sorry, I got lost in my own thoughts.
Does that happen often?
Lots of times.
Right. So, again, my question, what do you want?
To beat your party, actually.
Huh.
I was traveling south with one of the caravans that you had passed. One of the many caravans. And I sensed something within your group. Or at least I thought it was your group. And so I doubled back to the town, had one of my horses. Oh, by the way, my horse is just over there. I whistle for my horse.
It comes. Have you ever seen a Tennessee walking horse?
Yep.
They have a very. It comes over prancing.
Oh, you're such a good girl. I love you so much. But yes, I turned around and came back and amply saw you getting carried off by Mr. Grumpy Pants and tall Mr. Grumpy Pants. So decided, well, I can't not help people in distress, so went and did it.
Well, your arrival was timely. As for meeting the rest of the party, by the time we get back, they're probably going to be gone anyway.
Ooh, what makes you think that?
Why would they come after somebody who has done nothing but berate another party member because they've been putting them in danger?
I mean, that seems like a very fair thing to do.
Yes, but I didn't handle it well. I was a bit of a bitch. So I highly doubt they're going to show up.
Well, I kinda got that you were kinda bitchy. But, I mean, they're your group, and you've done to help them out many times, why wouldn't they not?
Because recent actions would state that they wouldn't.
Just because I slapped my brother because he's being stupid doesn't mean he won't love me in the end.
I can't say I relate. The elf was my brother. My brother literally kidnapped me out of my bed to take me home.
Okay, so let's not take it literally what I said.
I feel like pulling the whole Justice Friends thing, going, meanwhile, back at the other camp.
I mean, you can do that.
Please do. Please do. I'm going to run to the bathroom while you're doing that.
Please go for it. As you guys look, the night has gone away. You've rested for the better part of the evening. We're going to say that the antics that happened on the road were earlier, and so by the time you guys have rested, you can continue your pathway through the wilds trying to cut them off at the pass using the knowledge that you have of the area, along with Satael's unerring internal compass. If he ever loses his mind, you're all going to be screwed.
Hey, Satiel. Magnetic north, true north.
That way, that way.
Thank you.
Somewhere in my head, as the DM, I honestly think Eric knows north where he's sitting.
That is legitimately where I pointed, actually.
He probably does.
I legitimately did point in that direction.
Oh, man.
We're sitting in the cafe, and I don't live in Huntsville. I live in the next town over, so I don't know the town as well. So for me, whenever somebody goes north, I just kind of generally point in that direction. But he's like, actually, it's like right. And he like moves my arm and goes, it's that way. I was like, fuck, that way, still right. But
I'm pointing north.
That was north.
What have we started?
I only know that because my dorms are literally built like a compass. And I'm in the southwest. And the northeast is that way.
Anywho.
I'm with Q.
I'm underground. I don't care right now. It's good.
I'm literally in a
Directions don't
closet.
count there.
I'm literally in a closet. I have no idea.
South
right.
closet now.
It's my studio. So across the way on the camp, you guys break camp early. You still get your rest in, but you know that because you guys were doing a long rest, you were trying to beat that level of exhaustion that you were looking for, right?
Yeah.
You emerge, you follow along again, moving at a pretty good clip, all of you trying to just get ahead of them, hopefully cutting them off at the pass, knowing that they would have to break.
Tangaro's on his own horse now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we bring an extra horse for Tongaroa to ride by himself on?
Maybe? I don't know.
Didn't Astari have her own horse?
was
No.
more of the. It was more
we
of the
didn't
thing
have
that-
horses.
So no,
They
we only
didn't
yeah,
have
we
horses.
did not. Yeah,
Didn't.
we got enough for us, and we didn't. Let
Did we?
Tonga-
Okay, because I remember talking about it, but I couldn't remember if we
Well,
like.
we didn't get one for Tonga because Tonga was dead drunk at the time.
So I don't believe you brought an extra horse with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
we don't have enough room to fit Zastari on one on the way back. Got it.
So sorry, I get to pick of who she.
We were
looks
all
like
exhausted,
basically now.
to be fair.
That's fair. That is fair.
All right. As the vapors from the day start to break and the ground seems to steam up as the sun rises up, starting to give you the vestments of day, you find yourselves plowing through a little bit of underbrush. Like I said, this area, there's not a whole lot of underbrush. You finally make your way out to the first side of the road. The question is, are they ahead of you already, or are you ahead of them?
Do I notice any sort of tracking or smoke in the air from a dying fire or anything?
Give me a survival check.
Guidance.
What does guidance do?
Gives you a
Add a
D4 to
D4.
add to it.
Okay, I need that. Okay. 15?
You don't see any smoke, but you do not either, nor do you see any fresh tracks or disturbance in the road dust.
Like going ahead of us?
Correct. Neither coming to you nor going ahead do you see any disturbance or anything.
Clearly, they're ahead of us. So
With
we
my
should
knowledge
keep
of those
going.
horseshoes, would I know that if they left tracks or not?
Yeah, you would know that they would leave tracks.
Okay. Yeah. Satya will
Because you're thinking of the ones like horseshoes of the Zephyr.
Mm.
Those allow your horse to move above the ground, but not at an extra speed.
Got it. Okay.
So
Yeah. Satya will pause and you see anything? Any tracks?
Nothing. It's like we've
And
gone
they're-
cold on the trail.
No. Either that or they haven't gotten past here yet.
Did
The
we
horse-
already go past them?
There's nothing fresh here. And those horseshoes that those horses were equipped with, they allow them to move faster and it bolsters their endurance. But they still would leave tracks as they move along the road. If you don't see anything here, then and I'd assume they'd want to take the swiftest way, so that's clear because those horses make you go really, really fast. They'd not passed this section of the road yet.
I mean, there's not like a bridge out in a detour going around here, right?
Wile E. Coyote painted something on a cliff.
You're right.
No. We might be able to find them if we double back down the road.
I think that's our best option is to turn back.
Again, keeping in mind that you guys are going directly through the woods cross country to catch the road. So,
yeah.
Doubling back, you start heading towards the way station again, away from the town. As you're going, who's taking point on this?
Well, I'll be near the front. I don't know if I'll be first, but
Whose horse are you on?
Probably Zora's.
I was gonna say to make sure the horse can actually hold you, probably Zora's.
I'll lead.
Because if you get on the horse with Ezra, that horse
That horse would be dead.
It's not gonna be a happy horse.
Unless
don't
it's
get
a
on the
wooden hobby horse. So you and Zora are on a horse, and you, Ezra, you're up front along with.
Yes.
Okay. You give me a perception check, both of you as you're riding along.
natural one.
23.
Cool.
Could Zora be assisting with the perception checks? Since
As a
she's,
matter of
like,
fact,
right
since
there?
you're on the horse, yes, please give me a perception check as well.
Oh, nice. 6.
Actually, I wanted Zora to make one of her own.
18.
Oh.
Okay. So you and Ezra notice a couple of figures that are walking along the road. They're having a bit of a row. They're arguing back and forth with one another.
Would Zora recognize either one?
Yeah, actually, you would. Although you would recognize. No, actually, I take that back because they had masks and everything, but now they have their, like, you can see their face, so you wouldn't recognize them.
Okay.
Voices?
Yeah, so
That's what I was
maybe
about
once
to
they're
ask.
close enough.
Because they did talk in the room.
Mhm.
Axel was there too. Would he? Well, no, wouldn't see the face either.
No. Give me an intelligence. Collect.
Okay.
You're trying to recall something.
13?
There was a lot of noise, and there was just a lot of people at the tavern that night, so you're not really sure. It
Okay.
may be one of theirs, but it also may have been somebody you saw that evening.
Okay. She's
There
just
was enough people to
side-eyeing
make you uncomfortable.
squinty eyeing him.
Yeah, they drop silent as you start to clop towards them on your horses. The sound of the hooves clop, 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 off the stones. They drop quietly and just kind of don't turn their shoulders and back to you, but you watch as the elven man that's there kind of drops his head a little bit.
As they're going by, could I have Axel use an action on one of
Sure, what would you like him to do?
Heart Sight? Sprite touches a creature, magically knows the creature's current emotional state. If the target fails a DC 10 charisma saving throw, also knows the current alignment. Just kind of get a beat on what's going on.
You said it's a charisma?
Charisma DC 10. It's a really lame charisma one, but
It's actually
If
okay.
it works.
Which one are you touching, the elf or the human?
probably the elf.
Okay. He is angry and dismayed.
Okay.
How much do they
Question.
have to fail it by?
If they fail a DC 10, it doesn't
they
give
fail
like.
Okay.
It's not the one that would give you like the exact thought if they fail by a certain amount.
His alignment is lawful evil.
Okay. Yeah. Unless someone else does something, she's not going to call him out.
Okay.
Question.
Answer.
Shush. With Satil's memory, does this elf look similar to Zestari? Given his perfect recall.
I mean, all elves look alike.
I was just gonna say that.
Well,
I'm like, let's avoid.
I mean, yes,
avoid the racist statement in the room.
but
Jumping on those hand grenades, so you don't have to.
I appreciate that.
circa 1980.
Do you share a lot of features with your siblings? Then yes, you would recognize some familiarity between the two.
Given his prior knowledge,
He would actually look a lot more similar to the poster
yeah,
than the Zestari that you know.
mhm. Yeah, given his knowledge of your family, because what he put together, because of your shenanigans, Maddie, he'll just give them a nod and keep going.
Okay.
He doesn't want to draw attention to himself with them.
Spurring your horses on, you again pick up speed, heading south. Quite still a long traveling, because I assume. What are the two of you doing now that day is broken, and you can see that your attackers have not returned? I'm assuming that neither one of you really slept through the night because of fear of them returning.
No.
I mean,
Yeah,
she
I'd be-
would have meditated, but it wouldn't have been a great meditation.
What about
Yeah,
Burke?
I would have tried to stay up as
Okay.
much as I could.
So we'll say that you're probably suffering from at least a level of exhaustion.
Excellent.
And while you had the cloak on and it's nice and warm, it keeps you there. So
Kept
we'll
the fire
say that,
bolstered as
right.
well.
And with your needing only 4 hours to be in that state, I will say that you probably nodded off at some point in time just from being exhausted anyways.
Yeah.
Not necessarily nodding off, Maddie, but slipping into that trance-like state so that you can restore yourself.
Okay.
After the morning breaks, though, what are you doing? Are you staying put? Are you moving on back towards the town? What are you guys doing?
I better head back and go get my gear.
Do you need I would like to go with you. If that is okay.
I want to say I don't need an escort and I don't need your help, but considering the fact that all of my gear is back at that way station, and all I have to my name is the dagger that you were very kind in lending me. Sure.
By the way, could I have that back?
Absolutely. And she will just hand it back to him, because it's
Excellent.
not
Thank you.
hers.
I kind of figured you needed something, so
Appreciate it.
yes.
You have your steed, and there are still 2 horses there.
Yeah, she'll get on one of them.
Okay. One of them is clearly your brother's. Nice saddlebags. No horn on the saddle, so it's more like an English riding saddle. Very, very much a pompous prick's saddle. It's just shy of having it monogrammed with letters.
Oh, we nearly bankrupted the family looking for you. Yeah, take a look at the shit that you've got, brother. Disgusting.
The other horse is much. The other horse is much more of a rugged species. You can see that the saddle on it is more practical. There are saddlebags on the side of it that you can rifle through if you'd like to.
Okay. I'm probably gonna get on that horse and then pull the saddlebags into my lap and kind of rifle a little bit while we're riding back.
Hold onto your knees while you're riding.
Yeah.
All right. Doing so, you find in there the contents of an explorer's pack.
Okay.
Between the 2 of them, with the exception of like the 10-foot pole, I have that in there. So like the ropes, the pipe, and the hammer, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But is there a top hat?
No.
Okay.
There's not a top hat. Okay. And a monocle. So no, you also find in there two plain daggers in sheaths.
Okay. Those will just... She's gonna tuck them where she can get at them.
Okay. Are you guys riding wide open, or are you just sauntering and taking your time?
I would think we'd be taking our time.
Yeah. In appreciation for his help, she's not gonna try and rush them back to the way station so that he doesn't fall off of his horse. But she has the reins of the second horse tied to the pommel of the one that she's riding.
And I'm on my Tennessee Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I just pictured like a Frisia, but with moving like a Tennessee. So it's like the long mane. And actually, you said, what color is she? White?
No, just like a chestnut.
Okay.
Well, Sarah just killed me in our Discord chat.
Horsuit.
God.
Yep, that's my horse.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I hate it. Thanks, Sarah.
Anyway.
He's so well dressed.
That's what I'm here for.
He's only got one sock though.
Yeah.
The rest of you, however, are not moving slow pace. You're actually riding at a pretty decent move.
Yeah, once they were out of earshot of those elves, Sachiel would have mentioned, yeah, that guy was her brother.
You looked familiar.
So either she pissed him off enough that they just decided to hell with it, or she chased him off, or had help. Maybe we should book it?
He seemed angry. Like,
I mean,
Yeah,
that
let's
is the
book it.
funnier option.
Let's book it.
All right.
After them, or toward back the way we came?
Towards
Define way
That
we
way.
came.
back to way station where they came from.
I mean, didn't I say if we waited long enough, they'd probably just bring her back?
I mean, yes. Yes.
You did. You
Yeah,
did.
You did. You absolutely did.
I'm just pointing that out.
You were very right, actually. That's well done. Do you have any divination training?
No.
Oh.
I just know siblings.
I never
Fair.
had any.
I think you say that with a bit more sadness in your voice, like, I never.
Zor's got like 6.
Tonga has at least one.
I only have one, just the little sister.
Ezra's an only child as far as he knows.
Half siblings everywhere. Your father was a bard. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. So you take off riding at a pretty decent pace. Hour passes by, another about an hour or so passes by, and you notice a small campsite off to the side that looks like it has been the earth disturbed enough to where it breaks up the fire, and it looks there's still just a very trace smoke that rises into from there, giving you the idea that someone camped here last night.
They got a good distance on foot.
There are spells out there if either one of them were arcane inclined for long distance travel. I'm actually currently working on some myself.
While he's talking, can I look for tracks?
You may. Survival check, please.
You got it.
Satiel's talking. No guidance.
I will look with him.
Okay.
19.
All right.
What the fuck?
Dice jail?
Goes to the dice
Heaven.
show. You do see some you see some
Tracks.
Hoof prints?
English is going to come around and work for me again. You do see where, yes, hoof prints come up to this campsite and also lead away.
Looks more like they took the horses that were left behind.
Foot hooves.
If it was their horses that had the horseshoes on them, those would actually be very good.
I don't even know if Ezra himself would really know this, depending on actually, no, I'm not even gonna ask the question. He's not gonna know if a deeper fucking hole means that the horses actually took off running. He's not gonna know that. Never mind. Disregard. He lived on a ship,
Disregarded.
not he lived on a ship, he won't know that.
Should we follow the tracks back?
Keep in mind that a lot of this is like large flagstone with dirt between them. So
Yeah.
what you're looking at is like half of one.
Here and
But
there.
you do know the curvature of it, facing some way. Some of them
Okay.
will be like half a track of dirt with mud that continues on it. So,
They clearly danced here.
Molly, what did you ask me? I'm sorry.
Oh, that was me asking Ezra in character.
Okay.
Should we follow them back? Should we follow the tracks back? Because there are no
Probably.
tracks going that way, but there are tracks going back.
It looks more like they're heading back to where we stayed. So.
Well, I mean, all of the stories things are still there, so if they...
Oh no, we have them.
Oh, they're
Oh,
not.
we have them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was.
So she's going back. She's gonna be like, "I'm here for my. Where the fuck's my stuff?"
I was still plastered when we left for this.
You were.
No.
In my defense, I was really drunk.
You kept asking about brunch.
Like how
Did we
drunk?
get
Glass
brunch?
of water drunk.
Yeah. What was going on about brunch?
I don't know. Do I recall why I wanted brunch so bad?
Go on.
How drunk were you?
Like how
White
many?
girl
Roll a
wasted.
I
D10.
have like 8.
White girl wasted.
No,
We
that's
determined that
is.
last week.
Yeah.
I
Tongaroa
legitimately
was
wrote that down.
White girl
Tongaroa got
wasted.
white girl wasted.
White girl wasted.
It's in the notes. It is so.
Also,
I
Steve
love
is
you
channeling
guys.
The Godfather.
Yes.
Steve's over there channeling the Godfather.
So what do I roll?
Oh
Do I even
god.
remember like why the fuck?
Give me an intelligence check.
Oh, goody.
This is gonna go well.
I
Wow,
believe
that's
you.
a 18. That's my
Yay!
good roll.
Because you were drunk and waffles or pancakes or some other breakfast food sounded amazing that day.
I could get behind that.
And not the fact that I asked Ezra on a date and wanted to go to brunch because of that.
Oh no, you recall that too.
Oh. Well, I just really wanted brunch. Maybe we should go.
Yeah, that
With
sounds
that
good.
spurs the horse on, and Zora's like, "Wait, why are we moving faster than everybody else?"
Whoa, I'm driving. I'm the one in the front.
Like, still his legs are longer, so he's like kicking the horse, and you're pulling the reins. The horse is fucking confused right now.
Two people trying to grab the wheel. Like, no.
Tangaroa is trying to drive it into a ditch so that way he can die and never have to relive this. It's like, and you're constantly fighting against it. It's like, no.
I will turn this. I will pull this horse over. Damn it.
We gotta
Will
get
make
back
you
to the
walk.
star and we gotta go to brunch.
Stop.
I will make you walk.
All right, so you guys spur on your horses and are traveling at a pretty fast clip. As you're traveling along, the sun is still rising higher and higher in the sky. Ahead of you, you can see what appears to be a couple of riders on horseback, with a third, like a pack animal, alongside with them. But
Run
it's
them
not
down.
laden
Owl.
with anything.
Owl is
Fireball.
flying at them.
How far are they? At 120 feet, I want to cast.
Eldritch
still-
Blast.
They're still far enough ahead that your owl would be out of range. You can just barely make them out.
Owl is still going.
I will pick up the pace. I will ask my horse to speed up a little bit because whether or not
You mean ask Zora?
they're the people that we're looking for, they might have information.
Sora's just struggling.
About 6 seconds later. What? Oh, what the heck hit me in the back of the head?
There's like, I guess we're going now. Okay, it's
Was that-
fine. Do you
was
want to
that an
drive?
owl?
I'd love to. Can I drive? Please?
Yeah.
Does Zora
Sure,
want to
here,
switch
just
over to
hands the
another
reins.
horse?
See, I imagine Tangaroa, this huge Triton, and Zora, this little tiny human sitting in front of him. She's like, she had the reins, and she's like, "Do you want to drive?" He goes, "Yeah." So she just does this.
Pretty much just passes
Immediately
him.
when I get the reins.
She's just sitting on the front of the horse, going, "Fine."
Immediately when I get the reins, it's a full on like.
I have a really great question for you. How many horses do you have on those islands that you
None,
move?
But we've been riding horses a lot, so I feel like I know how they work. At least
Really?
a little bit.
Give me an animal handling check, please.
This coming from the
that's
one
Does
that
Zora
Nat
want to
won.
switch over
Great.
to another
Come on,
horse? Really?
make it rain.
Yours gonna
Make it rain.
fall off
Okay,
this horse at this
16,
point.
16.
Ezra's just like holding his hands out, like, do you want to come to this?
I'm going to accredit the 16 not to that Tangaroa. It knows exactly what's going on,
The
but
horse.
that the horse is really well trained.
I mean, that's what you do. You give the really shitty riders the horses that just know the trail, and you just let the horses go.
The horse is mumbling.
What are you
If any of you
trying
had
to say?
speak to animal, the horse is going, "This dumb."
To be fair, how
It's
much
a-
have we ridden horses? A lot.
How much of you? Yes, you.
Well, no, in game we've been on the horses
Game, we've
for
been
almost
riding
2
horses
months.
for weeks. For weeks, we've been riding horses.
Fair. All right. Picking up the pace, you are riding along.
It's been 2 weeks actually.
Okay. You pick up the pace and catch up to them quickly, and you can make out a large figure wearing a hauberk, blue tunic with chainmail underneath the important parts. Beside them is a smaller figure, but wrapped inside of a giant blue cloak.
With the
Can
hood
I
up.
see her? Like, is it?
I gotta ask you, JT, is it woad? Is it dyed using woad?
No.
Is it like that like woad blue that you see on like the Scotsman faces and stuff like that?
More dark. Much
Probably
more
closer
much
to
more
an
darker.
indigo.
Yeah.
Is it like? Do you have the cloak like hood up so
Yep.
I can't tell?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You would have to get in front of the horse to see that it's her.
Just,
Neither of these figures are familiar to you.
how close am I?
You're probably within shouting distance of them.
Well, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Before everybody comes up, I just turned to say, Starry. So that was your brother.
Mm-hmm.
So why? Just why? Why did all that
Leave in
happen?
the air.
It's a long story.
Well, I mean, we have a long road ahead of us.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I don't know if I'm ready to tell anybody, considering the reason why they found me in the first place.
That is very fair. There's been lots of things I do not wish to tell people. And there's a lot of things that have happened to me. Oh, jeez. I get that. It'll come in due time, if you want it to happen. But, just letting you know that we have a long road ahead of us, and I'm trying to make conversation with the brick wall.
I appreciate it. It's just, unfortunately, the circumstances, they're not
Yeah.
great.
I'm hearing that too.
Yeah, I know. It's on my end. I'm watching it happen. I'm trying to fix it.
Okay. Cool. We are working on it, guys.
So, do you like stuff?
No.
And things.
Just imagining this conversation that an owl just goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically,
As
just
a
hits
matter
me.
of fact,
It hits me
no,
in
it
the back of
doesn't
the
hit you
head.
in the head, but it goes and gives you like a flyby before spinning away on the wings.
Ah, Jesus, wait, Jay.
It buzzed the tower.
I'll be approaching quickly and shouting out, "Excuse me, do you? Can I ask you a question?
Do you work
Either
here?
of you?
Can I speak to your manager? So
Oh,
it's like
Karen,
clutching the
welcome
mane
back.
of the horse.
My name's not Karen.
Sorry,
Alright.
no, Karen.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Alright, so, do we hear this?
Yeah, absolutely. You're within shouting distance. You hear, excuse me, excuse me.
What? I give a turn around. Oh! Hey, look, another traveler.
Several of them on horseback.
Several of them. Oh, Jesus. Do you know these people? Turn to Zestari.
Just kind of glance behind her a little bit.
I've never seen these people in my life. Keep going.
Perfect strangers.
Do I see her face at that point then?
Nope.
Why
Big
are they
cloak.
behind us?
We're going back into town, so they probably got ahead of us.
But how?
I mean, I was following the people closely as best as I could. They were probably a little bit farther behind.
I just want to ask you one question.
Ah, sure! What do you want?
Have you seen
This boy.
have you seen this book?
Just holds up one of the wanted posters. Have you seen this elf?
Have you seen my chicken? I haven't seen my chicken in a while.
Have you seen an elven woman? Red hair?
I just reach over to the cloak, pull it down, or pull down like the hood of the cloak. Do you mean this one?
It's a story.
Magic trick.
Are you
Ta-da!
injured? Are you alright?
I'm
Is this a good man?
okay. One question at a time.
Or are you injured?
No. No. Yes. Emotionally, devastated. Physically, no.
Is this a good man?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Barik. How are you?
Hi,
What
I'm
is your name? I didn't hear.
I'm Tangaroa.
Motley Crew.
Hello. You are very weird looking. I don't think I've ever seen somebody like you.
Thanks.
Well, you
Yeah.
have a Triton and you have an Oni, unless you're in human. You see like tusks and like blue and white skin.
Oh wait, Ezra's on.
Ezra's coming up.
Ezra's coming up.
I'm
I'm
gonna-
just, I'm just looking. I'm just focusing on.
Just
Tonga.
just Tangaroa.
Yeah, I'm just focusing on Tongaro, and I'm guessing Sora is on the.
She's in front of Tangaroa.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
on
hello
the-
there, little person.
Baby Bjorning on the
Hi.
horse. Just-
Or you just the most adorable thing in the world.
Careful, she bites.
Oh,
okay, literally, we've seen it.
I love that.
Her face is just like.
If I may ask, Barrick, where did you find our friend?
out in the woods, she was all hog tied up.
Huh.
Oh, so
Why?
I should have hit those two with fireball.
Wait, what?
I mean, she was in the circus. It'd be fine.
I was tied up.
As you all come up, Barak and Setiel, there is a knowing connection that's not between you two, but you recognize one another for what you are.
Hello again.
Again?
Well, yeah, you passed us by on the road about 3 days ago.
So that was you. Arodar Shadare. I say that celestial, as in, hello, brother.
He will return in Celestial. Hello.
My sweet, simple boy.
Oh, you are such a beautiful creature of beautifulness. Look at you.
Oh, so another one. Interesting.
Another. Ah, so you know. Wait, you know what he is.
Oh no, I just know how to speak Celestial.
Ah! Oh, we could have been speaking. Getting kind of rusty back in. But that is not the point. Yes. So you're the person I pinged off of.
And I noticed you and several of your friends.
Yes. Well, they're not really my friends per se.
Followers?
Wait, what was the purpose of me being in that caravan?
You were kind of not literally this. You weren't like prophesizing or proselytizing, but you were kind of like getting out the word of the divine touched. You were, and it's almost a Life of Brian kind of moment where you're not really some sort of savior or messiah, but they just kind of like look to you for that particular situation. I don't know if anybody's seen Life of Brian other than myself.
Not in a long time.
It's been a very long time.
But like, you know how he stumbled upon the guy who was in the hole? Before he came along, I hadn't spoken in 15 years. He made the mute to speak. But really what it was is he tripped on him and like made him scream out in pain. So yeah, it's one of those kind of situations where you're not necessarily bumbling your way into it, but no matter how much you tell them, I'm not a god, I'm not somebody to be worshipped. You're awakening them and making them realize what's going on with them has kind of turned them all to look to you for answers. That kind of thing. So they weren't completely sycophantic, but they definitely were like, this is our guy. This is the guy we back.
They're not friends per se. They're more like they follow me. I don't know how or why they do, but I talk to them. I tell them about the ones who are divinely touched. Kind of like yourself.
Are you a man of God yourself?
I am.
Excellent. What God? Tell me more.
What God? What God? Line.
I love this
Zora
line
gets off the horse.
of conversation, but you wouldn't happen to have my clothes, would you?
Yeah, they're all in here. As he gestures to the pack that's about like this big.
Zora's welcome to ride with Ezra if she'd like to.
They have that third horse, right?
You
Yes.
have the
Couple more now.
Yeah, we have
horses.
the ostentatiously saddled horse.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. She's gonna take ostentatious.
Zora's on the ostentatious horse.
Heck yeah.
Start
Riding
biting
side
its hair.
saddle.
Nice.
Sorry, we'll undo the reins and hand them to her.
I
you.
finally noticed Ezra Fisher. Oh, Jesus! What the heck?
That's Ezra.
Ezra like panicking. Okay. Polymorph.
Sorry.
I was not expecting any of that.
Everybody, this is Bodek. Bodek, this is Ezra, our Oni.
Polymorphed really quick. He's already polymorphed. I'm sorry.
Our wizard. Zora, our
Zora.
Zora.
Warlock.
We don't know that.
No, we
No.
don't.
Magic
Mello,
being.
who is the one that sort of looks like he could burst into flames at any moment.
Friends call me Mel.
I was just about to ask if he was okay.
Yes. And
He's
then
a
of
fire
course
genasi.
the Triton, who is Tangaroa.
Perfect. Well, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. I met your friend out in the woods, all hog-tied up. I helped her get out of the situation. She more or less did it herself. I just like to talk my way into situations and not find my way out of it.
Sounds fun.
Thank
It
you.
kind of feels like I'm looking in a mirror right now.
I know, isn't it beautiful?
I do the exact same thing most of the time.
Yeah, you're definitely divine touched.
Yeah, they just can't really get me to shut up sometimes either.
He's touched, all right.
Show me on the character sheet where the bad DM touched you.
Every
Just a
single,
stat. Just
every
a
single
stat thing.
freaking banishment spell ever.
How are
That's
you
why
guys
it's his favorite
behind
spell.
us?
Oh, we went through the woods.
Yeah,
Instead
we
of
rode
following
for
the
very...
Instead of following the bow trail of the path where your
Sugar
horses
road.
would need to go, we just cut it across the quick and just went straight through the woods to try to cut them off at the pass to catch them before you made it to town.
So if you remember, the road doesn't go exactly.
Oh
it
no,
goes
that's
and
fine.
curves back.
She's having other mental
She's like
processing issues.
Do they
that
like
math gif, like
yes.
Then
Well, you see, the pass isn't technically real.
Mello, shh, 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 shh. Zora, you told them.
well, yeah. They punched Hannah and they took you, and they didn't want to be tied up the rest of the night.
I'm surprised.
Same.
Fucking beautiful.
I mean, and she's like visibly fidgeting, like, you've been kind of a jerk, but you're kind of our jerk. Like how Satya won't shut up, we expect you to kind of be the jerk.
I don't want to be the jerk
Then why are you?
because I don't like when people put me in danger.
You just can't come out and ask somebody whether they're jerks. I tell you, come on. Man.
Then don't put yourself in danger.
none of the danger that I was put into was my fault!
You walked off that one time down a hallway and got kind of held at knife point by a big bird guy. That's
So-
kind of your fault.
So, that one, he wasn't holding me at knife point until you all showed up with a torch.
He
So
still
he
wandered
just
off.
pleasantly talked with you the whole time?
I won't say it was pleasant, but I was talking my way out of it. Before.
You told us as a group not to go off on ourselves or go and do something stupid on our own, yet here you went. That's why we came after you so quickly. Going after something yourself. If you saw me in a dark alley, would you follow me?
I would
if
not.
I saw
Yeah,
you
you're
in
interesting.
if I saw you in a dark alley, probably not. If I saw you in the dark ruins where we were told that there wasn't going to be anybody,
And if I was
yes.
anyone else compared to what this is and you were following me, I would have not taken kindly to that.
You would have had to have caught me. But that's not the point. It's really not the point. The fact that you guys came after me at all. Which, for the record, this is happening as they're still riding back to the way station.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it that took you? I mean, I think we
Looked
kinda
like her
figured it
brother.
out, but yeah. Thanks for
Yep. It was my oldest brother. You're actually riding his horse.
She's like at this time like braiding the horse's hair and druid crafting flowers into it.
My god, he would hate that. Keep going.
It whinnies every once in a while and tosses its head back, but not like away from you. And
It's
you notice
gonna-
it does it whenever you stop, like doing things.
It's
My
gonna
god,
look like a
being
Macy's
affectionate.
Thanksgiving Day parade float by the time we get back to the inn.
he's gonna hate that. And
It's a
I'm
rose-
so for this.
The Rose Day parade. It's just
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we saw them on the way back to find you two. He
Was
looks
he-
really
Yeah.
mad.
Was he? Did he?
Yeah, he
Good.
kind of had a position of faint deferment, and he backed up and lowered his head, usually in a sometimes considered submission, but in considering his case, probably to prevent us from recognizing him, or Zora technically because she was in your room. But
No, he was probably trying to figure out what he's going to tell father.
That would
Oh.
explain where he went after we fended him off. He kind of teleported himself out of there.
what did it look like?
Kind of like her.
No. The teleport.
It looked like a slit in the fabric of magic. And then it turned open. He grabbed his companion, walked through it, and it turned back and closed.
Ah, dimension door.
That's what that's called. Beautiful.
Yes, it allows one to grab somebody else, sort of turn them into arcane energy, and then as the gate opens up and you get pulled through, you ride along the weave of the world until it opens up to the next place of your destination.
That is fascinating. Remind me to ask you questions later.
You lost me at open.
Have you guys rested at all?
Yes.
sort of.
Okay.
Just enough.
I mean,
Just enough to take the edge off, but we kind of did ride through the night a considerable way.
That is fair. We are exhausted. It was not a good sleep.
Well,
Oh,
if you
I
want to
didn't
find a
sleep.
spot to sleep right now, I can make
Actually,
sure.
if I'm not
nobody
mistaken,
gets
you
hurt.
guys didn't take a long rest either. You guys you guys are exhausted as well.
Yeah, we took a short rest, just
Yeah.
enough to take the edge off.
How far are we from the way station at this point?
Probably been traveling for at just kind of a walking pace. You're probably still about another 45 minutes from there.
Okay. Let's ride for another hour. If my mental calculations are right, we should be pretty close to the way station.
About 45 minutes, actually.
Then my mental calculations aren't that bad.
Show off.
I love Keen Mind. I'm sorry. It's a
Chicks
fun
dig
feat.
magic tricks, Eric. Just keep saying that.
Why do you think he's a wizard?
Sorry. That was a little more personal than I meant for it to be.
So
Just
I
having a good time with
understand that you guys say that I'm your jerk, as it were, but you could have been rid of me.
Well, that wouldn't be as fun.
And honestly, we could have, yes, but you're part of the group.
Groups are stronger together, and life is too short for petty grudges.
And I was drunk.
I right up next to Zistari. Told you.
So
Also,
did.
there's now an owl in Zestari's head. Hair, sorry.
Whoa.
Her name's Mila?
Mila, yeah.
Yeah. And then she'll just kind of reach up and pull Mila out of her hair and just set her on her shoulder instead.
Just fluffs
Just
up.
because it's
yeah.
easier to pet her when she's on her shoulder than
Let's say
her hair.
Bodic. You might also notice that Mila is actually a celestial.
I cast Divine Sense.
It's a celestial. That is in owl form, but
you
she
also
is a
picked
celestial.
up a fae. You don't see it, but you sense a fae is somewhere near here too. A fae creature.
There's a fake creature in around here.
She'll
That's
have
just my
Axel.
cologne.
She'll have Axel appear.
Axel.
He's usually invisible.
Oh yeah.
One who gives up their powers to patrons. Ah. Wait, would I
Yeah.
recognize it?
You would recognize it as it's a sprite, right? Is it a sprite or? Yeah,
It's a sprite.
So you recognize it as a sprite, but you wouldn't be able to make a connection to that. You don't know how she came by it, so.
My apologies.
That's okay. That's all right. But you do see he kind of gives you a little salute. How are you now? Good, and you?
Well, I'm tired, little one.
That's fair. They've been riding all night. They need to take a
Yeah.
nap. That's what they need.
Great. I like this little one. What is your name?
Name's Axel.
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 I like you. You're my new best friend.
He tucks his thumbs into his jerkin and goes, "What's not to like? Look at me. I'm adorable."
You really are.
See? That's proof.
Oh, hey, Axel, remind me at some point to give you the ability to breathe fire.
Rather not, if it's all right.
Can I have it?
Sure.
Oh god. Maybe no.
That just seems like overkill.
Give it to Archibald.
No!
Oh my goodness.
Actually, I love this idea.
Oh my god, he could be a cockatrice. He could be a cockatrice.
Oh my word!
But a cockatrice turns him to stone. But still, I love this idea though.
I thought it also breathes fire.
It
Cockatrice
does.
breathe fire.
Yeah.
A tiny cockatrice. That'd be amazing.
So you're saying I still get to use true polymorph if I steal the luck blade?
You'd have to attune to it.
Actually, no, you cannot. Wish only replicates spells of 8th level and lower. True polymorph is 9th.
Our walking encyclopedia, everybody.
Keen mind and
The
Fair
fact
enough.
that you knew that off the top of your head.
I'm not surprised anymore. I don't know why you guys are. It's like he's the only one that can probably, in our group, in our circle, probably one of the only people that can best my knowledge in some of this shit.
Tell me more. Cast room to sight.
Have we arrived
Moving
at the
along.
way station?
Yes, after about an hour's ride, you can see the road takes a tumble down into the valley and then curves around. There you see the way station. The tent is set up across from the station. So they did not, take the money and run. As you approach, you can hear voices from the tent. The very familiar cry of, Do you want to brain yourself on the ground? God damn it. Put your arms out.
Oh, is there a circus in town?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a deadpan yeah.
Are you okay?
No.
What's a circus?
Do I see the centaur?
Oh.
Maybe he's in the tent and the tent is not open, so
Oh, okay.
You were trained and then you're suddenly gone, and it's.
I will tell you everything after I've been able to rest.
Yeah, sure. We still have our rooms, I think. Hasn't been a day. Maybe. Oh, do you want your stuff back?
Please.
Reaches into that tiny pouch, pulls out an entire backpack. Okay, so here's this.
She'll take it from him.
bag of ridiculous holding.
Yeah.
So the stable
And her
hands
stuff.
the stable hands look at you and take the horses from you and brush them down, taking good care, cleaning the hooves. As you guys dismount, gathering your belongings, you make your way to the front, and there in the way station, in the tap room of the way station, you can see Hannah. Her legs are constantly bouncing underneath the table to the point where she's making this little vibration. As you walk in the door, she plants her hands on the table and springs up. And she runs over. There you are. I was worried.
It's all right. We brought your horses back with interest.
We did.
It's true. We have a couple more horses now.
That's
Likes the name Buttercup.
You're
good
keeping
to
that
know.
one.
Oh my god, he's gonna hate that so much, and I'm here for all of it. Ugh.
What happened? Who were they?
Can I rest first? And then I'd be more than happy to tell you everything.
I'm so sorry, of course. I'll have food brought up to the lot of you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Moment. And she puts a finger, like, not in his chest because she's a halfling, but puts it in, like, his belly. Who's that?
Hannah,
She looks up at you. Who's this? Who are you?
This is Bodek, who
Hello.
reached me before the party did.
So is this your savior, then?
I mean, she
You know
saved
what?
herself.
Sure, why not?
She kind of narrows her eyes and looks at you, and she says, he's not part of the agreement. If he wants to sign on, we'll have to make a new agreement with you and a contract.
Sleep
But-
first, discussion later.
Sorry, right, sleep. I'll have food sent up. You can room with the mates, right? And she
Oh.
bustles off.
Yeah, let's get one room and I can protect us.
Well, I mean, you guys had the men's room on the second floor. It's
Mhm.
still available for you to use.
Yeah.
What she was saying is that Baddock can room with you boys.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I need to sleep.
All right. As you guys all take to your rooms to pass out for the evening, we ourselves are going to take a short break. We're going to come back in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to grab some foods and some drinks and stretch our legs, what have you. Please do not go anywhere. We love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. We'll be back in about, like I said, 10 minutes. Stick with us. Tell your friends. Retweet our tweet. And we'll see you all back for the last half of the show in about 10 minutes. Thank you all so much. We'll see you soon.
Say it.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you very much for sticking around with us while I know I personally jumped in and devoured half a bowl of food that I had and then was like, okay, I gotta get back. So thank you all for sticking around. Oh, thank you. Callie Xenon is now hosting us for up to 7 viewers. Thank you so much, Callie, the Xenon Armada coming in to help us out. Thank you so much for that. Hang on just 1 second here. Give me a second. All right, so Hannah has made sure to procure food for all of you.
Thank you.
You guys are resting. You take a long rest, and you awake.
Yeah, but before that happens, Sawtail's going to put an audible alarm around every single entrance to these rooms. So if somebody other than the party or Hana, including Bardic, crosses that threshold, they'll be very, very angry, loud wind chime bells happening.
Is
All
it
right.
bad enough that I have a small bladder? I have to pee.
Pardon?
I have to pee.
Okay, you can go. You can cross the threshold whenever you want to.
But you told me not to.
No, I'm saying if anybody else does.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Alright, I have to pee, so I go.
You're approved.
Here's your hall pass.
I'd say you have a badge.
What a fascinating man.
He is like me.
Go on.
He's one of my kind.
Your kind?
An orphan that grew up in a library?
Exactly, yeah.
A nerd?
Absolutely.
A nerd? Is that what you just said?
Nerd.
Wow, Tangaroa, your jock is showing.
No. I taught you well.
Mello's been teaching me words.
Chad and
That's
Chad
my
Jr.
newest one.
Chad and Chad Jr.
Chad in training.
Note to self, I might need to have to learn the silence spell. In
So
the
if the two of you were hanging off a cliff, would you be dangling Chads? That's a throwback to an early election.
Wow.
Is it too late to pull from the campaign?
I gotta go now.
You're free to leave whenever you would like.
That was
Tangaroa jumps out the
significantly
window
more
and disappears.
sinister than it needed to be.
This is a threat.
Anyway, we've all had our long rest, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
should probably press that button.
I come back. I come back in reading a book. What are you talking about?
You!
Oh, yes. What about me?
I don't know. I don't know anything about you. I
Well,
want to know more.
I am here. I am talking to you. I'm talking to everybody because I helped rescue the story. Well, better yet, she did it herself. I was just more or less talking to people. I tend to get lost in conversation sometimes. I'm sorry. Hi.
Hi.
God, he is just like him.
It's literally like they might as well be twins. Just one of them is in armor with a big sword, and the other one's a spellcaster. But they might as well be twins.
Oh, but how? So I turned to Satiel. So, how long have you known?
I have actually known for the better part of my life.
So, like, when you started hitting puberty.
Things you can say to your D&D players as well as to your gay partner. So how long have you... So like since when you hit puberty?
No, it's a feeling I've always had ever since I was a child.
Ah,
Did
about
you like hear a bell ring and then like got an itch or something?
And then he got his wings.
That's what I was thinking too. Did you get yours?
Oh yeah, a back itch, you know,
No,
where your wings should be.
no.
the
Well-
wings came later.
The wings do come later. It's a little bit different. Things happen differently for each person. For me, it was I started hearing voices in my head. I thought I was going crazy.
So you're saying I could wait.
Mm, not in this particular case, but if you have voices in your head, you should listen to them sometimes because they tell you very interesting things.
Hmm.
You're not
Starts
here.
playing.
Yeah, Starry and Zora in the other room, like, I feel like I should be somewhere.
I said
It's like
to
a
the
thousand.
the horse.
Yeah, it's like a million voices cried out at once, and then
Yeah. Satiel will pause and he'll go. He'll take a moment, collect himself, take a breath, and go. And he's like, well, as his voice just deepens, real quick.
Ooh.
Well, I kind of have always known.
Interesting.
Anytime I take hold of a blade, I always feel a connection of some kind to the celestial world.
A blade.
Yes.
Any blade.
Anytime I have one in my hand.
So,
I
like, when you were
feel
buttering some bread as a kid,
Christ.
like, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna smite some
not
My
toast.
head man.
not quite that like that.
Well, you said you've known since you were a kid. How old were you when you picked up a blade, man?
I began training when I was 6.
Mm.
6.
Yes.
6 years old?
Yes.
Neat.
Those of us that as his accent starts to slip a little bit closer towards barracks as he's just releasing the mask, basically. Those of us that train as I have, it is a lifelong practice. I have learned how to fight and how to wield my magics in tandem ever since I was a boy. Because I had to learn how to see the weave and how to operate within it.
I'm going to stop you mid soliloquy.
Go for it.
I need you to give me a sanity roll.
Got it.
Thank you, Curious Craft,
Okay,
very
okay.
much for the raid. 7 more people. Thank you so much. Come enjoy the fun.
Because I took the 1, it's no longer an 18, so plus 3, so 18?
18.
Yeah.
The story you're telling is accurate. It is one that you remember.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you recognize this other life that you lived where you were studious, but you weren't, there was no weave. These were rituals. These were rites and things like that. That magic wasn't real. It was a ritual that you practiced that allowed you to do things more like science than anything else.
Mhm.
So to hear these words tumbling from your mouth about tapping into the weave, your mind starts to divide amongst the world that was there and the world that is here now. But yet it seems to flow and your mind comes back together, erasing the memory of that was there before. This is the new canon. This is the truth. The other place was a lie.
Okay.
Please continue.
Yeah, I'll ask you about that later so I can notate it to figure out the specifics of that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to take up too much time. You know,
Fine.
but yes, I have. I have, as you mentioned before, Mello. Even when it's just a butter knife, I have noticed that I have a sort of dexterity to them that others might not have. As he'll just pick up the small knife that he keeps with him, and it starts to twirl between his fingers. It's definitely something that he's practiced
Hmm.
a lot, but he just sort of flips and twirls it around his fingers or catching it again. I knew how to do things of that nature, but not quite as dexterous ever since I was a boy. As soon as I picked it up, it just sort of came to me.
Wow.
And
Oh.
as our friend Beric, I might as well call you brother, has mentioned, there is also a voice. And she guides me. And at times chastises me when I am trying to take on more than I should handle or not trusting in the rest of my party as much as I should. Like I should have now. I am not as dull and naive as I've led you all to believe.
You're a liar.
Interesting.
There will be things that I just do not know, because I spent the majority of my life in a monastery. But, well, that's more a matter of where I used to live.
Seems like we parallel ourselves rather well.
We do with that.
Except I don't practice magic as much as you.
And yet I believe you practice the blade more than I. At least
I-
in some aspects.
I let my words speak for themselves much more than my blade. I usually try not to attack people, but there are very rare occasions on that, and last night was one of them. But it's interesting how you've always known. You seem to talk about things very distantly yet so close. It's weird. I don't know how to process this.
Yes. For the longest time, I hid it. My father, the man who took me in, he understood. I think he knew. As he mentioned to me before, that he heard some voice call to him to bring him to me when I was left on the steps of the monastery as a babe.
So you were always an orphan.
Yes, I do not know what my parentage is.
Interesting. Because I'd watched my parents die. And then I went into the chantry because I ran. So there are divergences in our paths, but it was like we were meant to meet each other. And I was right to follow the ping to come back. Fortunately, I helped Sestari
That you
in
did.
this whole endeavor, but I guess you were not my mission, but we're a lot closer connected than I think we are, than we think we do.
That is possible. Something perhaps to explore in time,
Of course.
if you choose to stick around.
Well, I was traveling with a group of people. But I would love to stick around, but because of my nature, I tend to gather many people around me. And, many like us, and many not. But people who want their home, and I try to provide that as best as I can. I'm trying to set up a community for people like us and people who are alone.
And that is a worthwhile goal.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I myself, I am a seeker of knowledge. I wish to try to find those things that are lost, those that are hidden, for good or bad. I never did say I was the most wise. But I want to find them. I want to learn more about this world, about the weave, about how things came to be. I think there is something to that. There's something that I need to find. But I do not know what it is.
Are you a man of faith?
I am.
How much faith do you put into yourself?
Not as much as I probably should.
That is where you will need to learn. Because as soon as you do, well, things will fall right into place. Sometimes just doing things that you think don't correlate somehow will. Just have to believe that something will happen.
I will take that under advisement.
Good. Good. I get up.
So I'm just imagining the other three sitting there going, what? Just watching this
Yeah,
conversation
the other two are
happening.
just like-
The other three.
Ezra's just sort of
Yeah.
blocked out most of the conversation you guys were having.
I get up, walk out, trip the alarm.
No, the alarm doesn't go off because you're keyed into it.
He's like, just shut it off.
Tonga
So-
would probably.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Tonga would probably talk to Ezra really fast though.
Okay.
But if you prefer to move on, you can move on. It's not important.
No, that's fine. I did want to talk to you two in particular. Unlike unlike the realm where there's tons of gods tossed across and each one having a pantheon that is singled out or overlaps with something else but is a different aspect of it, the gods here are more all neutral alignment because the things that you worship would be like storms, waters, seas, oceans, things like that. Morning and dawn, goddess of the beginning of all things, the goddess of creation, god of fire, ash, and destruction, goddess of farm, feasts, hearth, and home, and love. There's a goddess of triumph, conquest, war, and competition. And yes, the pantheon here is a more perfect one because it is predominantly goddesses that you worship, not gods. As a matter of fact, of them all, the god that singles out is of fire, ash, and destruction, who is the closest thing that you have to evil, and it's more of a chaotic neutral kind of thing. It's not that it cares about you or anybody else. It's going to do what it needs to do to fuel its own thing, and it's nothing personal. It's not looking to be evil. It's just a thing that happens. So most of the time when we have those of us who are seekers of knowledge, it would probably be Odolan. No. Yeah, Odolan, which is the goddess of feast, farm, hearth, home, and love. But Avida also crosses over into that, not Avida as in like Avida. Crosses over to triumph, conquest, war, and competition would probably also fall under there because of the fact that knowledge is power kind of thing. So it depends on the nature of your acquisition of that knowledge as to where it goes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we talked about that before, and I wrote down that Satiel's a follower of Urliad.
Yes, Orlad, which is the beginning of all things, the goddess of creation. Petolus is the god of the morning and dawn. Petolus. Probably, I don't know, depending on what oath Barak went with, but we could try to figure that out.
Redemption.
Odolan would be a good one, but so would Petolus because of the morning and dawn, the renewal of life by day. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. You would know because of the conversation that Hannah is a follower of Avida. All right. Did I'm sorry, Ezra and Tangaroa, you were to the side.
I would be listening for a little while, but then I kind of realize that this is their conversation.
Mhm.
Like, this seems to be
You just
really
kinda-
personal to them.
Bow.
I probably would have leaned over to Ezra and talked to him a little bit.
Okay.
And, say something like, "Hey, I want to apologize for being so forward. I don't remember much, but maybe it was a little inappropriate of me, and I shouldn't have."
That's fine, Tangaroa. I don't mind. If you still want to get brunch, I guess we could. Though,
It doesn't have to be brunch.
oh, you seemed very specific on brunch, but
That might have been my drunk mind talking. It could be anything. I really do like swimming, and don't you still have that water breathing potion?
oh, I feel like Satael would not agree to to us using a breathing potion just for swimming.
Just for fun. I mean, to be fair, I can breathe water all the time if we need somebody who we would need to breathe water. I'm here.
Maybe, yeah. That'd be
Really?
nice. Yes?
My ears are like flapping. My little fin ears.
There he goes.
Maybe not quite like that, but yes.
He just flops on the ground like Magikarp.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, was that personal?
Tangaroa, use splash.
It's
You've attacked my personal
awkwardly
religion.
ineffective.
It makes him feel better.
I like cast control water on like a cup of water, and I'm like, whoosh.
I just imagine the Magikarp gif where it's going
Yes.
across the floor. Tangaroa is leaving the room by going. All right. I apologize. I interrupted. Were you done with your conversation?
I don't know.
Ezra? You have 2 minutes to rebuttal.
Panic.
Time is now.
Time's I don't see why we can't. Though I will see if using the air breathing potion or water breathing potion, the breathing potion, is necessary.
I'll tell you that swimming it's a wonderful, wonderful activity. However, I don't think you can truly appreciate swimming if you can't see the beauty that is what is actually underwater.
As long as I'm not under the water for too long, I can open my eyes.
Well, if you have the water breathing, we can go far.
I will.
We can make some friends. I can talk to the fish.
I can talk to fish.
See.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah. You know what? Sure, why not? The next time we get the chance to take a break. Why not?
Okay, great. Sounds wonderful. Okay, good night.
Good.
My whole face is like red. Like,
What color would that be? Like kind of a sickly reddish blue color?
Brown?
I was just say probably like a darker blue is like
Darker
what-
blue since you have fish blood.
Squirple.
Even Ezra's
I
face
did
would
that.
be bluer than normal.
Either that or they both go purple.
Are you
Sure.
breathing? Yeah, I'm breathing. Are you breathing? Yeah, I'm breathing.
Yeah.
Just goes purple. Ezra blushes blue.
Okay. The night wanes on after conversations are had. People finally fall off to sleep. The next day, excuse me. The next morning, as you arrive to, actually, I guess it would be later in that evening. Later in that evening, you arise to see that the tap room is oddly not as populous. Quick inquiry lets you know that the circus across the road has set up their tent and are putting on a show. The cost is merely 4 copper.
Well, they don't serve beer for 4 copper. And just march up onto the stage and start playing.
Okay. The rest of you?
I go watch front and center.
Watch the stage. There are
No,
you
he's
mean
gonna
like
go play, isn't he?
in the tap room, not across the road.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm curious to what Mello is doing.
So you're basically over at your buddy's place listening to him play guitar. 'Cause he
Anyway,
just-
Wonderwall.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
also. Very poorly.
Oh my god. I know this song. I grab my bagpipes.
Oh.
yes.
It couldn't get better, but then it did.
God bless.
Oh, no.
Alright, let's do this.
Okay, it wasn't
Performance
as
check.
bad as I thought.
Performance check.
I
11.
17.
Oh.
You are outshined by the piper.
what a fucking guess.
You know what?
Just-
However,
Is there any more instruments on the stage?
yes,
I have a
there are
flute.
the instruments to the people
Okay.
who were there last time. Do you want to touch their instruments?
No.
That sounded like a double entendre, but you know what I meant.
Phrasing.
Nah, he'll leave it alone.
Are we still
Yeah,
doing phrasing? Is
we're
phrasing-
always
Still
doing
offering my
phrasing.
flute.
we still doing
We
phrasing?
broke way past
That's
phrasing
phrasing.
a long time ago.
Did you want to give him your flute? Is that what you just said? Did you
I
literally
have a
just
flute.
say that?
I have a flute.
Good night, folks.
Okay, yeah, no, Santi will take it.
So let's just all get this clear to make sure that those watching at home understand. Mello gives Satiel
Loans.
his flute.
Yeah, musical instrument.
I ship it.
Performance check, which really follows up with you give him your flute and he makes a performance check.
Is there a farm near here?
Which
Or-
24.
But
Natural 19 plus 5.
Everyone loves Yaz flute.
how do you? Everybody loves Yan. What is it?
Yaz flute.
Yanni. Everybody loves Yan's flute. Everybody loves Yanni, master of the panpipes.
You say that, but my familiar in the Tuesday game is named Yanni.
Oh God. Why am I not surprised that you're playing a space wizard?
Space Warlock.
Space Warlock.
That doesn't make it better. Your piping is amazing, but then as you take a breath for a moment, there is a little bit of a burst, and it sounds like a bird song. You look over to see Satiel, and I'm going to say these words with a straight face, working that flute like nobody's business. Decca, please clip that. Anyway, see. It is an amazing performance to the point where the band members who are there staying and playing exit their private room to stand there and watch. They look at you, Mello, give you kind of a nod and a wave. They look at the newcomer who's playing the bagpipes, but then they're entranced by the beautifully haunting sound of this flute being played. When you finally hit the last note, tapering it out to the very end, there is a small burst of applause. The band members walk over to you, and the goblin that was there, he looks at you and says, "You ever want a job playing in a band? We got room for you."
Well, thank you very much. I will keep that in mind if
We need to-
I ever find myself out of work.
We'll need to change your style up a bit. You're a little drab, man.
Yes, well, the outfit is for travel. It is
Cool.
designed to weather the road.
All right, already done. Later. He turns and they walk back into their room. Well, they are having a conversation about the amazing flautist that they just saw. All right, what are the rest of you doing while these yahoos are playing on stage?
Can
Ezra.
I get more? Oh,
Just watching, I guess.
Okay, it's a story.
Yeah. I don't have an instrument.
She'll
I'm
probably
not-
have just gotten a drink and just trying to ignore the fact that they're like, yeah, there's a circus across the street.
Zora.
Is there a farm like within walking distance of this place?
Not really.
Okay, never mind. She's probably just gonna sit there and watch the yahoos.
All right.
I offer Ezra my viol.
How many instruments do you have?
Just those.
Okay.
I mean, I'll try it.
I still have my lyre, which is really set up to be more of a guitar than anything.
Oh no.
Ezra, performance check to see how well you can play. Is it the viola? Is that what it is?
Viol.
The viol.
Oh my.
That's a 9.
The bow shoots out
Roll
of your
better than
hand,
me.
Woo! That's like
and as you realize, you catch the front of the bow on the string, push it forward, and your hand slips, and it goes boom, across the room.
I'm just like
So, as entertaining
Puts it
as
down.
that is, gentlemen, maybe not potentially destroying other people's stuff?
I think it's most stuff.
Ezra like
This is
panics
my
and hands
thing.
it back to Mello.
I
He's
mean,
just like,
you
"Ah!"
know,
And
it's technically not a crossbow, but
I owe you all
Thorn.
a story.
a zestory, if you will.
Please
Get
don't
out.
make light of this.
Get out.
Well, if you feel like you wish to share.
I think at this point, you all deserve to know anyway.
As the two girls are hearing a voice they've never heard out of Satio before.
She's like, pinning this. We'll ask about that later.
That's not a this moment question.
So I've told you about my siblings. I am the youngest of 4. The circus troupe that's across the way was in Pendleton City, or Pendleton Vale City. They were there for a substantial amount of time, and I would sneak off and learn how to tumble and do acrobatics, and that's why I'm so good at it now. However, during one of the performances, my father walked in with the family, and after I was safely lowered to the ground, he basically had me locked in my room. My father's not a man who does things without purpose. Every one of his children is there for political gain. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care who we are or what sort of personality we might have as long as we get him what he wants, which is more power. So, that night I took everything I had been saving up, weapons, clothes, the little bit of money I had on hand, and I escaped. Onto the roof, and I've told you this story. This story will sound familiar. I escaped onto the roof, across it, and disappeared. That story I told you about rescuing somebody was rescuing myself. I've been running for the last 8 years from my father and his henchmen. And then, last night, I let my guard down. Because those were supposed to be my friends. And he sold me out for a bag of gold.
Zora kind of puts like an arm around her shoulder.
I thought they were better than my father, and they weren't. I am nothing but a political tool to my father, and I am nothing but a bag of gold to them. Which is why I was very surprised when you all showed up. Because I figured everybody has their price. And some of you would sell me out for more knowledge, some of you would sell me out for a chance to perform, some of you would sell me out just to become a better leader. The life of one over the life of many. My worth is only what everybody else thinks it is.
I think I speak for at least me and maybe someone else in the group. Your father sounds kind of like an asshole.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly.
What kind of parent has henchmen anyway?
It sounds like something out of a story or like a book of some kind.
It's all make believe.
Insight check. No.
Well, honestly, if you want me to go through every story I've ever read,
No.
families like that, I
No.
could.
No.
We don't have time for that, Satya.
No, you really don't.
Maybe next week.
We'll be on the road soon enough. I'm sure we'll have time. I mean, if we ever make it back to Pineheart, I can see if. I mean, I can get my dad to adopt you, maybe. If you want a dad.
I don't know if I want another father figure in my life at the moment.
Fair.
I had
You've
Midas. I had Midas for a while. I mean, he's the one who taught me how to use the glaive. He is unfortunately passed on, but it's okay. But I should warn you that this isn't gonna stop. He is not going to stop until I am either home, he's bankrupt, or he's dead. And there's a very real chance that even if he dies, my brother, the one that was there, is just going to take it right back up. My name is not Zastari or Ribella. My name is Kosalia Zastilina. I'm the youngest child of one of the most powerful men in Pendulum Vale City. And I don't want to go home.
Lathiel does not look surprised at all.
So we're not going to Pendleton Vale.
Well, at least not looking like you do.
Very
I mean,
true.
option 2 of bankrupting him does sound kind of funny.
Well,
Honestly, yes, it does.
according to my brother, he's already mostly bankrupted himself doing this anyway, which I find it very hard to believe.
And if we went to Pendleton Vale, they probably, since they knew what room she was in, they probably know who she was traveling with, so they probably know who we are.
They only know what room we were in because my friend sold me out. Well, the circus sold me out. I don't know if I can call them my friends.
Well, that is true. You mostly kept to yourself while we were here.
Be fair, I think you are with friends right now.
Also true.
Much as you may doubt it, they are still here. They did come after you. Just fortunate I got to you before they did.
I do have to say, your ability to talk your way into a situation and act as a distraction is fantastic.
But I just do the best of me I can.
Talked his way into a fight.
Zora's gonna get up and be like, I'll be right back, and she's gonna go outside. But carry on.
If you guys want to go check out the circus, you can. I mean, they're amazing.
Judging from what you said, I'm not interested.
Hmm.
And honestly, if I did go, I might find myself taking minor little bits of petty revenge with my own magics.
Oh shit, that's a bad thing?
Yes. No,
Someone
my
tell that to
God.
Zora real quick.
Mellow.
Where did
Look
did-
around. Zora is not at the table.
Where is Zora?
How big is the tent?
Large
Oh,
enough. It's a
no.
large circus tent.
Is it 100-foot radius by chance?
I know what you're casting.
Roughly.
Okay, could she like kind of peek her head in?
As you approach, you see the ticket attendee.
Oh,
Normally, he looks at you and goes, "Normally it's 4 copper, but for you, 2."
Is that a short joke?
No.
Sorry.
she's
It's
kind of like
much more of a leer creepy.
Yeah.
she puts on that face like that she would use with people at the bar back home and with her siblings when they were acting out, and just hands them the 4 copper and continues on in. Is there like a little kind of place she can kind of duck behind?
Yeah, you can see that they're all around the outside edge are 3 high bleachers or like stands that are easily
And-
collapsed down flat, and so they can be stacked.
And it's a dirt packed floor.
Yeah.
She's gonna get somewhere where she's got enough cover, but can still see kind of the center of the ring.
Okay.
And she's gonna kind of kneel down, put her hand on the earth, and cast plant growth. Centered in the center of the ring.
Like I said, I knew what she was doing the second she asked the range of that.
If you cast a spell using one action, choose a point within range. All normal plants within a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown. A creature moving through the area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves.
So it makes the ground rough terrain?
Makes the ground, anything.
Makes the ground doubly rough terrain.
Yeah. She will probably walk back out the same way she walked in, unless there's another exit.
No, not that. Well, there are, but they leave to like their changing
Like dressing
areas
rooms and
the
stuff.
prep areas and stuff like
Could
that.
she lift up the edge of the tent and just walk underneath it?
I mean, it's tacked down, so it's pretty like hard to lift up. But I mean, you can
It's
just
also
go back
short.
out the flap.
Okay, she'll just go back out.
Okay. You hear, or as you turn, you kind of look over your shoulder to kind of admire your handiwork. And it's not a slow growth. It's like, all of a sudden there's just greenery everywhere. You watch as one of the acrobats was tumbling through a routine. As they glide to the ground, their eyes go wide and they're suddenly engulfed in this plant life. This thick jungle that rises up. People are now screaming and panic running towards the entrance, trying their best to move through. What you didn't realize was that it's sawgrass.
Oh.
And it's tall.
Oh, darn.
And now there is like, well, you got to remember, it's not just the acrobats in. There's also the people watching.
Well, they were on the bleachers.
That's right. But how are they going to get out?
I'm sure someone's got a machete. It'll be fine.
They'll just jump off the back. It'll be fine.
They've got a machete. Someone will figure it out.
I take it we hear all this chaos real quick.
Actually, as you're having a conversation, they're giving perception checks, all of you that are at the table.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
just kind of walks back in and sits back down.
As you open the door, it's just a short burst of screaming in the background, and you shut the door.
That's a 21.
Everything's fine.
21.
21.
Yeah, look at that. I'm not Gillet for once. 19.
24.
Everyone done see what she done did.
All they do is see you come back in, and as you open the door, like I said, off in the distance, you guys hear panicked screaming. And then Zora just shuts the door.
Sorry, I thought I left something on my horse out there.
Can I roll an insight check on
Insight
that one?
check.
You may absolutely roll an insight check.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a deception.
Roll
Me
a
as well.
deception. Yeah, feel free.
Oof.
That sounds like a duck roll.
That's an 18 plus 7. That's a 25.
I
Oh,
rolled
that's
a
a natural
1.
20.
Total
Plus
of
what?
though?
25.
You know she is obfuscating the truth. She went outside to look for something. You're pretty sure she's lying about checking on the horse.
So what you're telling me that all that noise out there and you coming in is not correlated at all?
Do I look like someone that could do a lot of damage?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
He
like
looks
that the collective answer
genuinely
is
like
yes.
offended.
Zora, your mouth. You literally turned it into animal and then rip people's throats out.
Oh, that was clearly an illusion.
Wait, what? What did I just hear?
Which, by the way,
couldn't
I
have
think
done
is
that
really
now.
cool, and I would really love if you could teach that to me.
I don't think it's something I can teach, really. I mean, you could always just try and rip someone's throat out with your mouth, but I don't think that would work as well.
I could probably do that.
It'd be a
Jesus,
little
that's
gummy, but
terrifying.
it's manageable.
All
I mean, elastic.
sure
okay,
just-
you know what?
Done.
I'm gonna ask one question. Did anybody get hurt?
As far as I know,
No.
no.
A lot of you are psychotic.
You get used to it.
Welcome to this group.
I
They,
have a pit full of daddy issues. Of
Bienvenidos.
course I'm psychotic.
they
Bienvenidos.
are an interesting group, but I wouldn't trade them for the world.
Good. Good.
Yes.
That's absolutely wonderful to hear. Seems like I found yourself a brotherhood or a family.
The door to the end of the way station opens, and you watch as people pull into the place. Some of them have, like, if you get that like surface cut where it has like little beads of blood, but like several of them on any exposed areas, they all look panic stricken and shocked.
Oh no!
As they enter in, some people aren't really like injured. It's all cosmetic. They'll be fine. But you watch though as the centaur Thaddeus comes in. Over his back, you can see one of the tumblers is leaning, and their arm is just kind of drooped to the side. And their other arm is around like his torso. He's kind of holding them on to them. He gets them in and then lays them on the table. And as he looks up, he catches your eye, Zastari, and the look on his face. He goes white.
Well, if you don't mind me, I think it's time for me to get to work. I start going over there and helping heal people and relocate shoulders and
Bandaging people up and taking care of things.
using all of my effective hand lays on them.
Okay.
Satya, would you mind coming with me? I think out of everybody in the party, you're probably the least terrifying.
Well, sure, absolutely.
The little short human isn't terrifying, is it? Not terrifying.
Zastari knows what she can do. Of the party, Satiel is the least terrifying.
Oh, okay.
Until you see him start pulling out the to whom it may concern spells.
Yeah, no, just no spellcasting. I just call it support.
Well, that's what I am here for.
And Zastari with Satiel in tow is going to walk over to Thaddeus.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. I have to go.
Okay. Have a great night. Ezra
Thank
will
you.
play Ezra off.
He's helping Barrick where needed.
There you go.
He's like, ah, yeah. I don't
He is
know how.
waiting
I
for
can
the
set a
escort.
shoulder, maybe.
All right. You
Get out of
hold
here. We'll see you
Go.
later, Q. Thank you.
Bye.
You
Goodbye,
hold the-
have a good
hold the
night.
arms
I'll
like
see you
this, count
tomorrow.
Goodbye.
All right, so you hold the arm like this, you put it up there, you count to 3, you go 1, 2, click!
And there's a.
Oh, don't worry about it. Lay on hands. And so that's just me in the background.
All right.
I figure Tonga will take follow that.
I mean, you're a
command.
paladin too.
Well, yeah, he'd be like, "Oh, he knows what he's doing." And
Following along behind and going like this.
Oh, not like that, not like that. Don't, you're not hurt, don't.
I'm sorry.
Love it.
Paladin of redemption and a paladin of vengeance into a bar.
Vengeance
That's
power.
right. You're not vengeance paladin. What are
I'm
you?
a devotion.
He's a devotion, I
Devotion.
think. Yeah.
All right.
I'm a
So
peaceful
sorry.
boy.
She's going to walk over with Satiel in tow over to Thaddeus.
I'm sorry. You understand it wasn't personal. We've fallen on hard times. I took advantage of your friendship, and I know you trusted me, and I'm sorry.
You sold me for a bag of gold. That's what I'm worth to you.
It's not like that.
No. Did anybody else know?
No. I didn't want them to share my shame.
I am sorry that my father drove you to this, but I wish you had told me.
So what? You could run back home and confront him?
No.
Ask him nicely to stop?
What do you think I've been doing for the last 8 years? You think I've just
Hiding.
been running around on 20 gold pieces?
No, but
I'm making money. I could have been sending it to you. And instead you just sold me out.
I did what I had to do for the rest of the family. No, none of them know. And if you want to get vengeance on me, then I understand.
No. No vengeance. No revenge. But you are going to live with the guilt and the shame of what you did for the rest of your life. You called me family. That's what you said I was.
You are.
Not apparently. These people, this man, the one that's walking around healing people, the Triton, the Ganassi, they know what family is. And they wouldn't sell me out for a bag of gold.
If it means anything, if I had it to do over again, it would be a different turn.
I want to believe you, Thaddeus, but it's hard.
I understand.
So, you won't see or hear from me again. And if my father wreaks havoc on you, well, I have a little something that'll get him off your tail. At which point, she will beckon him down and whisper to him one of the family secrets that would absolutely destroy her father's standing. And it's nothing to do with her.
His eyes go wide for a moment, and he looks at you and he goes, I don't understand. Why are you sharing this with me?
Because
I
it's my
crossed
fault.
you.
Because it's my fault. He wouldn't be chasing you. He wouldn't have been after you the entire time if it wasn't for me.
He hangs his head in shame and says, I should have talked to you from the get-go. I'm sorry.
It's unfortunate you've burned the bridge now.
I understand.
Give my love to the rest.
I will.
And safe travels, Thaddeus.
The story.
Hmm?
I hope in time you can find it in you to forgive me.
I've already forgiven you. I will just never forget what you did.
I understand. And he turns slowly and clops out of the door.
Do I notice this conversation happen?
I'm gonna say that, like, kind of looking over people, you can see that they're talking, but you may not recognize the conversation as you are kind of like making busy with some of the patrons who have come in with cuts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Satiel, you were standing right there.
He'll, as he turns, he'll say, Thaddeus,
Mm.
there was something my father told me long ago when I was growing up. This applies to the both of you. There will be many times in our lives where we'll have to make a choice to do what is right or to do what is easy. Keep that in mind going forward. You did not speak to Zastari. You took the easy path. Zastari has shown what it means to take the right one.
He looks at you for a moment like a stone cold gaze. When he was talking to her, his face was soft. Nothing personal. I don't need any lessons from you. And he turns and clops out of the bar, slamming the door like with his back hoof as he goes.
Satiel just chuckles like, and yet, I know that's not a lesson he will forget, whether he wants to listen or not.
Shame is a fantastic teacher. However, it doesn't work very well for some.
And as you tend to the folks in the tavern that have been injured, looking over them, you can see that most of it's superficial. They're easily mended too. Pressing a cloth to them mostly takes care of it. But as things kind of quiet down, and the screaming is now stopped for the most part.
Because I think
We
that
are
lasts
going-
for like 8 hours.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it for the evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in. A huge thanks to, and we'll start with them, a huge thanks to JT, our newest player who's playing Beric. Tell us a bit about yourself. Where can we find you on the web? Do you have social media so we can like you and follow you everywhere?
I don't really have pages for myself other than my Instagram, which is JT_the with a 3 instead of an E_man.
Excellent. We will see how long Beric will be with us. But in the meantime, we have had Maddie Starry, thank you so much, who is also our host for this evening. So show our love for making our overlay and making sure that our cameras were all working and our audio and things like that. So huge thanks to her for all of that. We also want to thank Sarah for joining us. Sarah was playing Zora this evening. Sarah is actually responsible for our... Do we actually have that? I haven't scrolled down to look. But our actual like calendar that we have. And if we don't have it in there, we'll have it soon.
If you take a look at our YouTube page, that banner on the
It
YouTube
is
page
there.
is Sarah's.
Yes. Sarah is responsible for
spent
all of that. So
45 minutes trying to get that to fit.
fit in there.
If you would have told me, I could have made it that size. I have the files.
I was literally doing it while I was inputting things into playlists.
So, anyways, Sarah is responsible for making our calendar
And the
our
BRB screen.
timestamps and our BRB screen. So, thank you all so much. Thank you, Sarah, so much for all of those things. We have with us Molly, who is playing Tangaroa. Molly is our resident cosplayer. Check her out. It's on Instagram. It's Thigh High Cosplay. Is that right?
One full thing. Thigh High Cosplay. Tread carefully. There's non TOS safe content on Instagram.
There's stuff that makes us go. All right.
It's stuff that I wouldn't show you. I wouldn't show it on stream because we'd lose affiliate real fast.
A huge shout out to Eric, who has taken up the seat of DM on Sundays at Lucky Dice Cafe. So we want to thank him for doing that. He and our other organizer, Anthony, are swapping back and forth for that seat. And so far, it seems like it's been a lot of fun for both of them. Mm-hmm. So we will see how it carries forth. Eric is playing Satiel, one of our Azamar for the evening. We want to thank Steve, who is playing Mello, our bard and pun master. As I realized that Steve's whole job, thinking back from the first time we ran Foundations of Adelar to now, like every time there's a pun. The only time there aren't puns is if Steve isn't here. And then
you're saying his puns were on fire.
His puns for that fire ganassi. And then we also Q had to leave, but we want to thank Quentin for being here with us and playing Ezra. Quentin is also our social media and community manager, so all of the Twitter posts and things like that, we want to thank them so much for all of those things. I have been your DM for this evening. My name is Heath. You can find me at Lucky Dice Cafe on Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, getting to play in Adventurers League, where I play a turtle druid named Waylon, and he sounds a lot like Thaddeus. But I am. You can find me on Twitter at DireBearAC and here on Twitch as DireBearGM. Tune in tomorrow. We will have Esper Genesis, as far as I know. And then on Wednesday we would have Monster of the Week, but we're going to be out of town, and same for Thursday. So if you are in the Fort Wayne, Indiana area, or the area that can get there, Winter Fantasy is going on. Tickets are no longer available online, but you can print them and purchase them their day of. So come out and see us. I know I'll be running games. Matt will be running games. I think Steve's going to be there playing, and a bunch of other folks are going to be there playing along with us. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, and I will keep you all posted if we're going to be running a game next Monday, because I don't know how tired I'm going to be. But if we are not, I will let you know. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves. And until next time, bye, everyone.